I'm David Branch. Welcome back to the second video in this series. Now, in the first video, we spoke about the number one major component for your business to be successful. You, the leadership. We learned that everything rises and falls based upon you. If you have a healthy perspective, and if you're a healthy leader, everything can be great. But if you're unhealthy, or if your perspective is unhealthy, then your company will be unhealthy. Now today we're going to talk about the second major component for your business to be successful, your team. Now I love team building. I'm a strategist. I love putting things together and finding the right people and putting them in the right place, but it hadn't always been that way. When I first started, I dreaded hiring people. I knew it because, see, I paid them by the hour. And when you pay people by the hour, you're instantly on opposing teams, and they want to work longer to make more money. You want them to get the job done quicker so you can make more money. I remember a time I had a guy that worked for me, and he was trying to get extra hours. And I told him, I was like, the job's over with, go home. And he was just kind of lingering around the shop, just piddling, trying to get more hours. And I was like, hey, this is not right, man. You need to clock out and go home. And he summed it up and said, well, I figured that you can afford to pay me more than I can afford not to have it. I knew right then that we were on opposing teams. He was trying to take money from me, and I was trying to keep him from getting it. Now, how can you build a successful company when the owner and the employees work against each other like that? The answer is you can't. But for the first 15 years of my business, that's what I did. I paid the majority of my people by the hour. They're always wanting to get overtime, time and a half. And so, naturally they're taking longer. And it was not just stressing me out, because when they're milking the clock, it just makes you furious, But beyond that, it was just this up and down roller coaster always. We could make a little bit, we'd lose a little bit. We'd make a little bit, we'd lose a little bit. And I never could get a hold on things. And I was to my wits' end. I really was. I didn't know what to do. But when I attended that Dave Ramsey conference, they talked about putting people on the same team and building unified groups and people that are there to accomplish the same goal. Well, for years, me and my group, we were never trying to accomplish the same goal. I was trying to get work done, and they knew if they did a certain amount, they would get paid. That was it. There was nothing in their heart driving them to do the job. They just simply wanted to check on Friday. You know what I'm talking about. Well, we're going to dive right into this because we want to teach you how to make a great team, and we got a lot to cover. Okay. Now, the first thing we've got to cover is under perspective. Now, perspective is simply how we see things. It's our viewpoint. And I just told you I had a very narrow viewpoint when I first started the business because of what I came from. I came from getting paid by the hour, so I assumed I would always pay people by the hour. It's the simplest way to do it, but it's also the most expensive and least effective way to do it. So what's the best way? Well, first of all, we've got to get perspective. We've got to understand that if we're going to build a great team, it takes more than just offering a paycheck to somebody on Friday. It's more than just giving them opportunity to make money. If you want to build a great team, great people that are growing their character and want more in life, they want more out of their occupations, their jobs as well. And as the owner, it's up to you to give this to them. It really is. If you want to maintain a great team, if you want to build a team and you want to attract great people, you've got to build a great company. So let's get started doing that. First thing you've got to have is a clear mission. Everybody wants to know what they're doing and why they're doing it. They want to make sure that they matter and that they're making a difference. So, what is your company's mission? Now, you may think that it's your product and that your product, if you're a landscaper, maybe you feel like your product is cutting grass. Okay. But is it really? Is that what you're really selling? See, when you're selling something, when you're delivering a product, you're delivering something that satisfies somebody's need. It's not that they need their grass cut, right? I mean, you can live without getting your grass cut, but somewhere inside of them, they know they've got to take care of their yards, and they don't have time. Now, they want to see a pretty yard, but they don't have the time, or they have to give up their Saturdays to do it when they could be spending that time with their family. So what is your mission if you're a landscaper? It's not cutting grass. It's to offer a fun, beautiful, safe place for families to do life. You know, something like that. It's more than just cutting grass and raking leaves. See, you're giving that family something. You're allowing the dad, usually, to plug into his family on Saturday instead of having to work in the yard all day. Okay? Now, if you're a gym owner, you're not just helping people lose weight. You're helping them have a healthier, happier life, a better marriage, be more present, more alive, more energetic with their family. See, it's more than just that product or that thing that you give them. It's what's beyond that. It's the value of your service, the internal value that it offers to people. Not just the external solution that you're giving. It's the internal solution that is the value. That's what your mission is. Your mission of your product is to give people something. Hope, time with their families, something. And it's important that you identify what it is, because who wants to get a job just cutting grass? Now, I enjoy cutting grass, and you may too. It's nice to get out in the sunshine and ride around on a spring day. But it's not that everybody just wants to cut grass. People want to know they matter. Your teammates want to know they matter. They want to know they're making a difference. Cutting grass does not sound like you're making a difference. But when they realize that they're giving freedom to that dad so he can spend time with his kids in the yard, now it changes things. Everybody wants that. Remember, we all want to pursue our dreams, discover our mission, and live fully alive. We don't want to have to give our time on Saturdays to cutting the grass and take that away from going to see our kids play ball. Make sense? Good. Second thing we've got to have under perspective is a healthy, clear culture. You've got to know clearly what you want your culture to be. You've got a culture. Everybody has a culture of something. Okay. Now, it could be unorganized, it could be sloppy, it could be full of gossip, it could be inefficient. I don't know. Or it could be great things. It could be encouraging. It could be uplifting. It could be profitable. It could be one that loves on people. It could be one that gives back and offers something to the community or offers something to the team. There's a culture. What do you want your culture to be built around? That goes back to you as the leader. Okay, so in the leadership video, I asked you how you want to be remembered. What legacy do you want to leave? The one reason that's so important is that's going to be how you build the culture of your company. Because as the owner, one reason you went into business beyond money and freedom is because you wanted to establish a culture that encouraged the lifestyle that you want, that supports the belief systems you have, that gives you time, gives you money, whatever it is that you believe and how you want to be remembered, that it's positive, it's uplifting, it's encouraging, whatever the things are that you want to be remembered for. That's also how you want to create the culture of your company, because you're there so much that it needs to complement your personality and your hopes and your dreams. So build your culture based upon you, the leader, and how you want or how you view and envision how life should be lived. And when you build that culture, you'll give that to your employees. So if you want to be an encouraging place, then they get to come work at an encouraging place. If you want to build one that loves and encourages time with family, then you will give them opportunities to have time with their family. If you want a very tight team environment, if you want to be one that has people around you all the time, that has great close connections, then you're going to make time in your company to build close connections with the people. See, and this attracts great employees, great team members, when they know clearly that they're doing something that matters and makes a difference, and that they're also part of a healthy, growing culture that aligns with their belief systems. See, if it's clear what it is that you believe and the image that you're trying to portray through your company, the people coming in will either buy into that and want to be a part of it and support it, or they won't want to come in and be a part of it. And there you won't have to deal with those people, right? So it's important that we know clearly what we want our culture to be, how we want it to be defined. Okay? The next thing, I'll use the green on this. The next part of your perspective, compensation, money. We have this idea that people come to work for us because they want money. So true. No, it's not. They need money. Again, they want this. They need the money to fund their freedom, okay? To fund their dreams so they can live their life fully alive. But we look at compensation as us against them. Like I talked about earlier, paying people by the hour. In this society, for whatever reason, we feel like we pay people for their time. And that's a horrible way to do it. Not only because it doesn't make us money, because if your incentive, if the only way you can make more money is to work longer, if that's your incentive, then you're going to obviously make the job take longer, and it's going to cost the company more money. So, terrible idea. But beyond that, when you pay somebody for their time, you're telling them that, in a sense, you may not be saying it, but really what you're saying is you're only worth your time. There's no value outside of how much time you can give me, because I'm not paying you for that. I'm paying you only for your time and what you can do in a certain amount of time. I'm not paying you for your value, or the value you bring to the company, or your potential. See, we want to know we matter, that we're making a difference, and we were only exchanging our time for money. It kind of demoralizes us a little bit. The same way with the salary position. If you pay straight salary, you give a guy $30,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 a year, it doesn't matter. When you bring him in, you pay him that amount. At some point in time, he's like, okay, I need a raise because I've just been here longer. Now, it doesn't mean he's more effective or that he's producing more necessarily. It's just because he's been there longer, he kind of feels like he's entitled to it. And then we kind of have this entitlement mindset going around in America right now anyway. But when you just have a salary, you're demoralizing them there too, because you're saying no matter how hard you work, this is all you'll ever get. And if you want to slack off, I'll still give you the same amount. And people start buying into that. They have no incentive to do better. They just get paid to do average. And so they do average, and then they just slowly dip off, and they do a little less, and a little less, and a little less, until finally you catch on and fuss at them. And their only way of making more money is hopefully if the company does well, and they get that 3% raise that you promised them 2 years ago. Right? So, how can we set up a compensation system? I believe in paying people for their value, the value that they bring to the company, their ability to impact the profits of the company. So I believe giving them a base salary, enough to get by and pay their basic necessities. You don't want to be too desperate, but you do want them to have a healthy sense of desperation. So I believe in paying people with an opportunity. Give them profit sharing. If they contribute to the company and it makes a profit, they get a piece of the pie. That brings them fully on board. They're vested in the outcome of the job of the company. They will start saving you money. They will be strategic in their ways of making more money because they'll have a little more of an ownership mentality. The greater the percentage, the greater investment they feel, the more skin they feel like they've got in the game. Now, you may be thinking that you don't want to pay profit sharing because maybe your profits are low. Well, let me tell you, our profits were horrible. I got out of my hole through profit sharing. Because I needed everybody to have a team mentality. I needed them to win and lose like I was. And if I give them an opportunity to make more money, if we as a company make more money, if I give them that opportunity, they find a way to make it happen. And they did. I mean, our profits increased over 2,000%. Before profit sharing, I was running the darn thing in the hole. You hire the right people, put them in the right positions, and give them an incentive to win. Back out of the way and watch them win. So don't be scared of that. Don't be scared of paying people for profits, because that's what you want them to do, bring you profits. Okay? Now, second thing, confidence. Well, we've got to have confidence in two things. The first one is our team. We must know our team members. We've got to know who these people are. We can't just hire them for their skill. Now for us, I hire culture first. Character. I want to make sure that they fit this, that they want to be a part of our mission, and that they support our culture. One of the questions I ask on an interview is, when you come in our door, the day we hire you, how will we all of a sudden begin getting better? Just simply because you're here. See, I want people to make a difference, even if they don't have the skill level. How can just their character make us stronger, make us a better, stronger people, a better, stronger culture inside the company? The only way I can do that is if I know these people well. So we have a long and extensive interview process. And then we also meet their spouses to make sure that they are encouraging the one that we're hiring, that they have a great relationship, that they're fully on board, that they believe in us too. And they also kind of become a salesperson for our company. If they really buy into us and they really understand who we are and what we're about, they become a salesperson, an unpaid salesperson. It's kind of a nice little benefit you get. So we've got to know our people. When we know our team, we have confidence in what they will do while we're gone. When our back's turned to them, when we're not there, what will they do? We've got to know the heart of our people. There's not much worse than going out of town or just not being involved in the day-to-day part of your business when you don't trust your team. Even when they're good at the skill, building the product or the service, when they're good at that, but you don't know their character, man, that causes intense stress. For me, I will hire somebody in a minute that doesn't have the skill level or just doesn't have experience. I want to have skill. If they don't have the experience, but they've got great character, because I can teach the skill. I can't teach great character. They got to come with that one. So if their character doesn't fit our culture, it's a no-go. But I've got to know their heart. I've got to know their dreams, their visions, what they want in life. You know, talking about pursuing dreams and discovering their mission, living life fully alive. I want to know what this means to each one of them. It'll also tell me if they really truly align with my mission and my culture or not. You know, sometimes they can kind of pull the wool over your eyes, but when you start getting at a heart level with them, you start seeing if they really align. It's a big deal. And when you know what somebody wants, what drives them, you know to the degree you can trust them. It's huge. Huge. The next thing you've got to know is you've got to have systems for improvement. If you're going to have confidence in your team's ability to produce a great product, an excellent product that you deliver to your customer, you've got to have systems for improvement. Now, we have a system to where when we start a project, whoever looked at it, whoever scoped it out, whoever sealed the deal with the customer, they bring it and they present it to the group, everybody that's involved, everybody that could play even a minor part in that project. That person presents it to the whole team. exactly what's going on, the plan from day one all the way to the final billing. We plan every little bitty aspect using lessons learned from the past. We use, the one reason we tell the whole team what's going on is we also want their input. What do they think we should do? Have they seen anything like it before? What's their experience? What's their perspective on it? And we always have one person in the room that doesn't have a clue about what we're talking about. The reason is we want somebody that's willing to ask the dumb question. See, when you have a room full of experienced people, sometimes they're a little ashamed to ask the dumb question because they're embarrassed that maybe the rest of the group will think, well, you should know that, right? So we always have somebody in the room that everybody knows, doesn't have a clue. And they ask the dumb question that is usually so important and so vital to the success that nobody else thought of. That happens, right? It's so important. We brief that job. Then we execute it. We go through and we march out whatever our plan was. We march it out. We get done, we come back, and we debrief that project. The same group sits down and like, okay, here was our plan. Here's what we did. Here's what went right. Here's what went wrong. The things that went wrong, we're going to write them down in the lessons learned for things that never do again. And then we're going to have the things that went right. We're going to write those down as lessons learned for the things to always do because they make us more successful. Then the next time we do a similar project, we pull up our lessons learned. It said, oh, never do this again. That makes us fail. Make sure you include these things. And so what happens is we create a culture of constant improvement. Then you as the owner can sit back and you can say, okay, they're constantly improving because they make a good plan. They transfer their lessons learned. They don't make that dumb mistake again. They made a new mistake, created a new lessons learned on what not to do, but they also found a better way of doing it, put that in the lessons learned of things to do, and we have a system that constantly improves. The goal is not that we don't want to make mistakes. We encourage mistakes because that means we're growing and we're pushing the line. We're taking some risks. But what we don't ever want to do is make the same mistake twice, and there's no excuse for that. If we have a list of lessons learned, things that we know they're going to screw up the project, if we write that down and we brief it to the team, we're like, we don't do this ever because we lost last time. Well, there's no reason we should ever do that again. And if we do, then we have to deal with somebody on that, right? So if you want to have confidence, know who your team is, know their heart, know what makes them tick, and then have a system for constant improvement. Now look, something else on top of that. When you hire people that are about a mission, and when you hire people that will build and complement your culture, and you pay them right, those caliber people, man, they're all about improvement. They're wanting to improve their personal lives. Something else we ask them in the interview process is we give the life wheel, the 7 components of the life wheel. We're like, what are you doing right now to intentionally grow or improve in these areas? Physically, what are they doing to challenge themselves, to improve and to grow? What are they doing intellectually to improve and to grow? What are they doing in their relationships to improve and to grow, and so on? We want to know what they're doing to improve and grow themselves, because look, they're never going to care more for your company than they do for themselves. And if they don't have good self-improvement practices, they will not improve your company. And they won't even give a darn about this. They won't. If they don't care about getting better, they don't care about making your company better for any reason. Because they will not care more for your company or the results of your company than they do for themselves. There's absolute truth in that. Remember that in everything. It's all about the right people. Okay? Now, encouragement. The third thing is encouragement. How do we do this? Well, we need to encourage people professionally. Now, everybody wants affirmation. Everybody wants to know that they're validated, that what they're doing matters, and that they matter. Now, when we encourage them professionally, we tell them how great they're doing. We pat them on the back. We make sure that they know that they're a part of the team, a vital part of the team. And we constantly encourage these people. I mean, think about it. Most people haven't had a pat on the back since they played high school sports. Seriously. A lot of people have problems in their families, bad marriages, divorces, whatever it is. And who is it that pats them on the back and says, hey, we're glad to have you on the team. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. You know, when do people really get that? A lot of times they don't get it in their marriage. They don't come home and the wife say, oh, well, I love you so much, honey. You're doing a great job. Thank you for leading. Some people get that, but not many. You, as the leader, need to be a great source of encouragement. Now, it's part of your culture. If you're in an encouraging culture, then the whole group, the whole team encourages and pats each other on the back and tells them how well they're doing. Everybody wants to know they're doing well and they're making a difference. And they stay in places like that. If they come to work, let's say this, say they leave their house where they have fussing and fighting going on all the time. Now, chances are you're not going to hire that person anyway. Okay, but if he's already there, if he's already working for you, and he leaves his house and they fuss and they fight, and he gets to work and he hears how good he is, how he's winning, how y'all are so glad he is part of the team, how he makes things better. Man, if he's not getting that anywhere else in his life, but he's getting it at work, you know what he wants to do? Go to work. And he wants to make a difference because he wants to hear that again. We all want, man, I want to hear it. I love getting a pat on the back for a job well done, or, you know, having words of affirmation. I love that. And you do too. We all want to know that we matter. Okay? Next thing, we've got to encourage each other personally. Outside of the work, not just what you're doing and telling them that they're doing a great job or that you're glad to have them on the team. Encourage them personally. They're great people. Tell them how great person they are. Live a life of encouragement in front of them. Build a culture of people that encourages them to grow in their marriages. Encourages them to grow physically. Get stronger. Get more mindful with their body, you know? Teach them, encourage them to grow spiritually. You know, connect with God and allow Him to work in their life. You've got to encourage them not just in their job, but in who they are. Because as they grow on a personal level, your company grows as well. When you have growing people, you have a growing culture that winners want to be a part of. Now, losers won't make the cut. A lot of them won't be on here because they'll be intimidated. But you get a winning group. If you want to build and keep a winning team, then you've got to have a culture that supports a winning team. And winners want to be around encouraging people. People that believe in them. People that believe they can do more. I'll tell you a quick story. I've got a guy that works for me. Gosh, he's just a jewel. And years ago, when I first hired him, I mean, he was just a kid. He was about 23 years old or something, right? But he had been married about the same amount of time that I was. I had been, I'm sorry. And my marriage was just crap. It was just dangling by a thread. I nearly hated my wife. It was just, we just fought and fussed all the time. He would ride around in the truck with me. I'd go around, I was training him at the time. And I would tell him about my wife and what kind of thing I thought she did that was dumb and just how she nags me or whatever. And all he would do is respond with love. He would just tell me how he loved his wife and how all the wonderful times they have and how she encourages him, how they pray together. And he never said anything to me about my wife, about how I need to treat her differently. He never told me I was doing wrong or anything like this. He just lived an example in front of me. And I will attribute a lot of the growth and the change in my marriage. I have a dynamic marriage now. And I believe that God sent that man in my life to work for me in my company to teach me how to have a better marriage through his example. See, he encouraged me personally by living the example in front of me. Think about this. Now I'm talking to you about what goes on inside my company. It ain't all about just working and making money. It's about life. This is what we want. But what happens is we think so small. Our perspective is so small. We think it's about getting the job done so we can get our money. Get our job done. That's not what it's about. It's about building a better life for you and your team. When you think bigger perspective like that, everything changes. You don't have to deal with all the crap, the gossip, and the people that don't show up, and the people that don't perform, or the people that are milking the clock. You don't have to deal with that kind of stuff anymore. You hire winners, and you keep them by building a great culture and keeping it alive. Honestly, it's a lot of hard work, but it's really not hard to do. What's hard about it is just staying the course. But to encourage people, that's how we should live anyway. Knowing our people, loving the people, knowing the hearts of the people that work for us. If we're going to spend 8 to 10 hours a day with these people, we need to know them. We need to give them the opportunities to improve. As the owner, as the entrepreneur of your company, it's your responsibility that I believe it is my responsibility to build a system that allows our people to live a balanced life, earn more in less time so they can go home and spend time with their families, and leave a great place, a place where they work all day, and they're constantly encouraged by their team members. So when they go home, they don't have to spend 45 minutes or an hour kind of coming down from their day because of all the junk they've been hearing, or how they've been getting screamed at and fussed at all the day, or how their coworkers are just doing terrible stuff. They don't have to get away from all that. They go home energized because right before they left, their coworker patted them on the back and says, "Hey, have a great day. Go home and love your wife." All right? Hey, go home and spend a good time with your children today. Have fun, whatever it is. That's a big deal. Build your culture to do that. I'm telling you, it changes everything. It changes your money too. So, what is your plan? We always have to have immediate actions. Something that you're going to do right now, today. You've got to schedule making this change. It doesn't just happen. What are you going to do? Clearly define your mission for your company? Okay. You may really know what that is. If you do, does your company know what it is? Do your workers know? Do your employees, your team members know? They need to know what your mission is. Put down the date. I'm going to figure out my mission. I'm going to explain it to the people that are working here. I want them to know clearly what it is that we're doing and why we're doing it. We're not just cutting grass. We're creating a place where a family can enjoy a clean yard and do life together, without the dad or the mom having to spend all Saturday just working in the yard. Okay? Whatever it may be. What is an immediate action you can do for your culture? First thing, identify clearly what it is based upon who you are and who you want to grow to become as the leader. What's the legacy you want to leave? Identify what that is. Compensation. How are you going to start paying your people differently? If you're paying by the hour, you've got to start making a plan to pay them for their results, their ability to impact the bottom line. Not for their time, and not just a straight salary where they don't get more and they don't get less no matter what they do. Don't do that. Start building a compensation system. Now, if you will email me directly, david@davidbranch.net. If you will email me directly, I will send you how to do a great rock star profit sharing plan. Okay? Now, that's only for the ones that email me directly. I spent, 6 years working on that thing. We have run millions of dollars through it, proving it, and I really hate to give it away. But I will do it if you're serious about making this change. Email me directly, and I'll get that to you. Start knowing your team. Immediate action. Sit down with one of them. Maybe take one to lunch. Just ask him, what are his dreams? What is he about? What is life fully alive to him or to her? Create a system to where you just brief all of your jobs to the entire company or to the entire team, everybody that's involved. Get information from people. If you don't have a list of lessons learned, get a list of stuff from all the different team members in the room and have them give input. That gets them buy-in too. Start building a system for constant improvement on your jobs. And for everything, systems for improvement on your hiring process. Whatever it is, you need systems for constant improvement in every area of your business and in your life. Start encouraging them. Make it happen. Next thing you need, three-month plan. You have immediate actions, but where are you going? What's your 3-month plan? Where do you need to be? What's something you need to do in 3 months to follow up? Or do you want to have it to where you say, okay, in 3 months, I want to have met with 50% of my team for lunch or for coffee and got to know them. I want to know, what the dreams are of 10 people in my company. Something. But you got to have something. You got to go ahead and write it down because you got to make this stuff happen. If you don't start making a change, you're not going to start getting the benefits that change would bring, right? The next thing you've got to have is a 6-month plan. Where do you want to be in 6 months with this? Now you can go ahead and take it on out to a 5-year plan if you want to, but if this is new to you, then anything past 6 months is going to be kind of overwhelming. Honestly, if you implement an immediate action, your 3-month plan that you have now, that if you go and create one now, it may change anyway because your perspective will grow and it'll change. And don't worry about if you have to come back and change these. That's awesome. If your perspective grows to where you want to have a different 3-month plan, that's fine. Just have a 3-month plan. Now, if you're like, I don't have time to do all of this, you don't. You're already too busy. You're working like crazy already. You're putting in too many hours likely. Here is how you decide what to do first. What is your greatest need? Is it time or money? Okay, if you're not working crazy hours and you have time, but you're broke, then obviously your first need is money. If you're equal, if you're like, man, I don't have time and I don't have money and I don't have money, but I don't have time to figure it out. Okay, here's what you do first. The first thing you do is pick something in immediate action that will give you immediate time. What's something you can do that will give you immediate time in your day? Something. If it gives you 20 minutes extra, what is it that you can do to get immediate time? Once you free up a little bit of time, then identify something that will free up immediate cash. Okay? Once you do your first time saver, you can take that time that you gain and you can start identifying momentum breakers, places you're losing money, places you're being inefficient. Don't worry about adding revenue streams at this point unless you just really need to add one because the ones you have are horrible or something. Usually it's because we're just being inefficient and we have too many momentum breakers, too many things going on during our day that just sabotage our time. So start with whichever one's the most important to you right now, but if they're both equal, start with your freedom. Free up some time, then work on finances. Eventually, you've got to run through all of this stuff if you're going to build and if you're going to keep a dynamic and winning team. Now, I hope that served you well. And until I see you in the third video, pursue your dreams, discover your mission, and live every moment fully alive. Have a great day.